All right, folks, we're going to jump into Word Chapter 2, mid-level exercise 1. This is about the balloon festival. So I've got the document open already. And the first thing we need to do is change the document theme to a theme called organic. So that is in the design menu. And on the far left, you'll see a drop down that says themes on it. So we'll hit that and we will look for organic. So for me, it's in the second row, third column. So I'll choose that. Okay, and now we see like color selections and things have changed. So now that we've changed the theme, we need to format the first paragraph in the document where it says Mount Vernon Hot Air Balloon Festival. So that's that top line there. And we need to make it word art. So if you want to do word art, you go to the Insert tab. And if you go near the right in the area with the little words text at the bottom, you'll see kind of a off-kilter A, and that's where you can change things into word art. So if I hit the drop down there, I am looking for fill black, text color 1, outline white, all that stuff. So I think that is this guy. So you can hold your mouse over it to make sure you have the right one. So black fill, text color 1, cool. Outline white, cool. Background color 1, yep. Hard shadow orange, okay. Accent 5, perfect. So that's the one that I want. And you can see that turned it into something fancy. And then we need to change the font size of the word art object to 24. And that we can do at the Home tab. And you can see where it says Arial is the font style or font type. And this is currently at 36. We need to change it to 24. So you can type 24 in there and hit enter and it'll change. Now it's all nice on one line. So that's step 2, all done. Step 3, we are going to change the wrapping style of the word art object to be top and bottom. So there's two options here. One, you can go to the drawing tools format after you've clicked on this and choose wrap text, and you can do top and bottom. The other option is you click, if you have it selected, you can hit this button here and it gives you the different options. Okay? So either one works, does the same thing. Now we need to format the word art object with shape, style, subtle effect, teal, accent 2. All right, so we've got to click on it. And so we have our drawing tools format area here. And we need to go to the shape styles drop down. So that's in this area, shape styles, and the drop down with these icons here. And we need to pick the one we want. So teal is kind of greeny. So if I hold this over, okay, I'm in teal and we want subtle effect. Okay, subtle effect, teal, accent 2. Perfect. So that's kind of the fourth row, third column. So that's done. And then it says, if necessary, center the word art object on the first paragraph of the document. So for now, it looks like I'm already pretty centered, so I don't have to do any dragging around or anything like that. So we are done step 3. Step 4 is format the second paragraph of the document. So that's this sort of subtitle here, see the canyon from the top. And we need to center it with a bold, so first I'll center it. So this is all your alignment here in the Home tab paragraph area. So center is that one. They want it bold, so I'm going to hit the B for bold. Okay, and then we need to change the color to teal accent 2. So font color is where this A is, with a bar of color under it, and whichever color you've last used will fill. So right now it's red, but we want teal accent 2, so I think that's in this column. So teal accent 2 right at the top there. And we're done. Step 4. So the next thing is we need to select the remaining text on page 1, beginning with the date May 28, 29, and ending with the on festival grounds. So let's find out where that is. So I'm just clicking and dragging. Okay, so that's it right there. So it's just everything on that first page. And we have to change the text into 2 columns with a line in between and equal column width. So where to do that? So we'll go into the layout tab and we will choose columns. So it's kind of near the left area and page setup. And instead of clicking 2, I'm going to go to more columns because that gives me more options to kind of mess with what I'm doing. So here I can choose my number of columns either by clicking one of the things on the top, or I can increase it using this button here. So I want 2. The width here is the same, so 3 inches each, and it's telling me I need a line in between. So I'm going to check this box here. And there's also a box here that says equal column width that you can check to make sure you get equal column width on each one. So if you have everything looking like this, you can move on, hit OK, and now everything is in 2 columns. Perfect. So the next thing we need to do is change the font of the column text on page 1 to Century Schoolbook. So I need to highlight all the text again because I clicked somewhere else. And changing fonts is in the Home tab, and you can use this drop down here. So currently the font is Arial, but we want Century Schoolbook. So it's in recently used for me. For you, you might have to scroll down. Luckily, this is in alphabetical order, so I can find it right there. And if you click on that, your font will be updated. And the last thing we need to do in this area is insert a page break, quotes not a section break, which we haven't covered yet, but that's fine, on page 2 after the sentence ending with inflate balloons on the festival grounds. So let's find that. Inflate the balloons on the festival grounds. You know what? I'm going to go Control F to use find. Inflate the balloons. Oh, it's not finding it. Oh, inflate balloons, that's why. Okay, so I can hit this arrow to find the next one. Oh, here we go. So inflate the balloons on the festival ground is actually at the bottom of the column. So if I put my cursor at the end there, we want a page break. So I'm going to go insert and page break. Okay, so there we go there. We are done step 5. Step 6. So we're not supposed to have errors in our document, obviously. So we are going to check the spelling. So I'm first going to close my navigation here because I don't need it anymore. And I'm going to go to the Review tab and Spelling and Grammar, which I've learned that some of you have something called the editor here, which is the same deal. So we'll click on there and find all the mistakes. So here in the title, it's saying that from should be lowercase. Sure. Okay, here's one where we have a repeated word. It says a balloon flight. So down at the bottom here, you can say delete repeated word. And that's all there is for that. So we're done step 6. Next thing we need to do is right align the third paragraph on page 1. So the date here. So I can highlight that date. Your alignments again are on the Home tab. And these 4 buttons here, right align is this guy here. So we can do that. The next thing we're going to do is highlight all this text because we have to do some more formatting to it. So we need to do a line spacing of 1.5, paragraph spacing after of 6. Okay, so where you get those options, there's this on the Home tab still. There's this area that has paragraph written at the bottom. If you hit this little square with an arrow coming out the bottom, you can get to more robust options. So we need to go in there. I'll bring this back onto my screen. So if you're on the indents and spacing area, so you can see down here line spacing, and if you go to this drop down, you should be able to find a 1.5. And there it is there, second option, 1.5 lines. So now I have 1.5 line spacing as asked, and then spacing here, that's where I do my after spacing of 6 points. So if you hit you can either type it in or hit this up arrow. And so it starts at 0 and then goes right to 6. So that is perfect. Okay, so I'll hit OK. And you'll see that all the text has become more spaced out, and after paragraphs, you've got an extra big gap. That's that spacing after 6 point function there. The next thing we need to do is insert a column break to the left of the paragraph beginning with, and don't forget the dogs. Okay, so that is here. So I'm going to put my cursor there and insert a column break. So where you do that is in the Layout tab, and you'll see this drop down here in the leftmost box with breaks. I'll hit that, and you can find column break second from the top. So I'll choose that, and now it bumps that onto the next page. Good stuff. We're done step 7. Next, with the insertion point immediately to the left of the paragraph beginning as for the kids. Okay, so I think that is right here. So that's near that's right column, first page. I'll put the insertion point there. We are going to insert an online picture. So to do that, we need to go to the Insert menu. And in this illustrations area here, you will see online pictures. So we will choose that. And it gives us a little search function. When it loads, there we go. So we need to search for the keywords hot air balloons. Okay, hot air balloons. Hit enter to start the search. And you can it doesn't tell you which one to pick. You can pick whatever you like. I like this one. So I'm going to pick that. Hit insert. And now I have a huge picture. So I don't want it to be that big, but it's okay. So we just have to change the size. So it says select and delete any additional text boxes that may appear. So when you're importing online pictures, sometimes it gives kind of a credit thing down at the bottom. You just click on the outside rim of that box that is there, and you can hit your delete key and it'll go away. Okay. So in this case, it's not an issue. We're going to change the height of the picture to 1 inch. So we're on if you click on the picture, you'll get the Format Picture Tools area available. And if you go to the far right, you've got a height box here, width box here. And so if I need to change it to 1 inch, I can hit the down arrows if I want. It will take forever. Or I can type 1 and enter. And I will have a 1 inch sized photo in there. Now, next thing we need to do is change the wrapping style to square. So I am going to still click on the picture. Wrap text is available in that format menu, and I'm looking for square. So there's square there. I'll click that, and you can see that now the words wrap all the way around the side and the bottom, which is great. We now need to choose a picture style of reflected bevel white. So I am going to look at the picture style menu. So I'm still in picture tools format. Styles is this kind of long box here. If you hit the down arrow with the line on top, it opens up the entire menu. And I am looking for reflected bevel white. And I think I have it written down here that is the third last one. It might be this one. So there we go. Reflected bevel white. So I'm going to choose that one. And then the next thing we're going to do is position the picture so it's on the left side of the paragraph beginning as for the kids, but still in the right column. Okay, so I didn't have to change anything because it is in the right spot still. So that's just in case it gets moved, it's telling you to put it in the correct position. So we are good with that. Step 8 is done. Step 9, we need to recolor the picture, and add artistic effects. So if we're going to do that, you have to click on the picture first. You'll see that Picture Tools format has showed up here, so I'm going to click on that because that will let me modify my picture here. So the first thing I want to do is recolor, which if you go to the adjust area over here and hit the color menu, I get a bunch of options to change how this picture looks. So I need to recolor it with teal accent color to light. So there's recolor here, and I believe it's the third row, third column. Yeah, so teal accent to, or teal color to light. So I'll click on that. Now, I don't know, picture kind of looks crappy now, but that's what they want, so that's fine. The next thing we have to do is apply the paintbrush artistic effect. So that's where so back in that same area, artistic effects, hit the drop down, and I believe this one is in the third column, second row. So it's thinking because as you hover over stuff, it's trying to change the picture. So there, if you hold your mouse over, you'll see paintbrush. That's what we want. So I'm going to click on that. It'll take a little while to modify our picture here. And it's good. So that's step 9, all done. So now we're going to move on to page 3, where we have, we're looking for when is the best time to see balloons. So that is the first thing under the frequently asked questions area. So we need to format that with a bold as bold. So let's highlight that. In the home group, hit the B for bold. And then we want to change the color to teal accent 2. So that's back to the font color menu in the home area. So teal accent 2, I believe, is this guy in the top row. And then we are going to use that to create a new style named questions based on that formatting. And to do that, so if you're on the home tab still, this whole area here is called styles. So we're going to hit the down arrow that has the line above it to get the full menu. And you'll see down this first option below all the selections there is create a style. So I'm going to click on that. And this is where you get to name it. So it shows you the style that you're creating, right? It's based off of what we've already done here. So we're taking a little shortcut. That's good. And we're going to name it questions. If you've got your style wrong, you can hit the modify button and that will allow you to change how this looks. But ours is good, so we'll carry on. I'll hit OK. And now you'll see our style that we made is now in this menu here. Questions. Okay. Perfect. So now the last thing we have to do in step 10 is apply the question style to the other questions on page 3. So that's all these headings. So I can highlight them, hit questions. It'll change the formatting automatically to that format as we work our way down the page. It makes life a lot easier than having to automatically bold and change the color of each one manually. Okay, and then how to plan here. We'll do that one. Okay, and I think how can I plan is the last one that we need to do. So that's it for step 10. We're on to step 11 on the second page of the sheet. So we need to go to page 4 and apply solid brown bullets to the 9 paragraphs on the page beginning with although there is no perfect. Okay, so that looks like right under the how can I plan for the best experience. So I'm going to highlight all of these 9 ones all the way down to the bring frisbees. And I am going to, so it says solid round bullet. And then later we're going to change it to teal. So if you want to add bullets, you're on the home tab in the paragraph area. On the top left of that, you'll see bullets. So if you hit the down arrow on that button, you can choose bullets. So you may have one that's already here, which is the teal color, which gets you right to what you want. So we'll click on that. And now we have teal bullets all the way down the side. The next thing we want to do is decrease the indent of those bullets so they begin at the left margin. So that's over on the side. So to do that, you got to use your ruler up here. And I think if your ruler is not showing, you might have to go to the view menu. And there's this show area, and you'll see a checkbox next to ruler. So make sure that has a check in it, or else you won't be able to see this area. So if you want to make your bullets start right on the margin, you can drag the top white kind of upside down triangle thing all the way over to where the gray and the white meet. And now our bullets are all on that area. If you want to move your words over, you can click on the bottom part of it. And sometimes it drags both at the same time, which you can change after. So it move this guy over, I'll move it back. The other thing is you can hit the bottom kind of square there and it'll move both at the same time as well. So there we go. Bullets are already teal, so we're good. Next thing we need to do in step 12 is insert a page break, in parentheses, not a section break, between the heading, how can I plan for or before the heading, how can I plan for the best experience? So I'm going to do a page break here. I don't think I need to because I'm looking at it, and you may have an issue. Let's do this. So if I move this up, do I have an issue with my how can I plan? Yes. So if you have a paragraph above here and your frequently asked questions is not at the very top of the page, put it at the top of the page and you'll see that you need a page break here to bump the question down with its content. So I'll go insert and page break. And now that looks better. So we're good with that. The next thing we need to do is select the schedule of items under the heading Saturday. Okay, so I see them all here, Saturday all the way to 8:15 balloon glow. And we need to start using our ruler. So we need to do a left tab stop at 1 inch. So I'm going to do that part first. So there's a couple different ways to do this. So I think we'll do it this way. So if you see where the 1 inch area is on your ruler, if you double click it, it lets you put in some tab stops. So what we're going to do is we need one at 1 inch. So, okay, 1 inch there. It needs to be a left tab stop. Perfect. I have left selected here. And I'll hit set and OK. So we've got our 1 inch stop here. The next thing we have to do is a 3 inch left tab stop with a dot leader. So I'm going to double click on the 3 inch area here. And so I'm going to have to select my 3 inch in this area. So I modify the correct one. We want it to be left aligned, and then we want dot leader. So you can see that number 2 down here has dots. So that means if you have a space between your first part of content and your second part, it'll put dots along in the gap. So I'll hit set and OK. And now you should see a little L at the 1 inch and a little L at the 3. So what we're going to do now is show you how you work these. So what you do is you click in front of, the first line, and if you hit your tab button on your keyboard, it will scoot your line and it will stop where we've set our limit at 1 inch. So you can see that is perfectly in line right here. And then we need to do that for all the other lines as we work down that section. Okay. Now what we want to do is move the activities to the 3 stop. So I'm going to put my activity. So I think that Saturday morning should stick with the 6 a.m. So I'm going to leave that alone. I'm going to put it right before pilot's briefing. Hit tab. Do that for each one. And you can see our dot leader is now filling in the gap between the time and the activity. Okay, so that is the first part of step 13. Now we have to do the same thing for this bottom Sunday area. So here's your first hot tip for doing things quick. So highlight all the stuff that you've already worked on. And if you go to the Home tab, you can select Format Painter. And what that does is it takes the format of the area you've highlighted and allows you to apply it to a new area. So we want to do the exact same thing that we've done to Saturday to all the Sunday stuff. And so I can click Format Painter. And you'll see that it's nice and grayed out here, meaning that it's active. I'll scroll down to the area I want to copy. And you can see my cursor has a little brush on it. So I'll click and drag. And now you'll see this area when it's highlighted has the 1-inch tab stop and the 3-inch. So now I can go ahead and work through tabbing everything over like I did for the Saturday stuff. And we're done. So that makes it a lot easier than having to set up everything over again like we did in the first place. So now that we're done with that, we can save our file and close it. So that's mid-level exercise number 1 for Word Chapter 2.